flex and all that.
Playoffs are this weekend, I guess. And there's this one thing. If you're waking up from a coma, bad timing, first of all. Donald Trump has been sworn in as President of the United States. I know. Listen, we're just as confused as you are, and we've been awake this whole time.
My only pink hat. It's adorable. It looks great. Well, I put it on Facebook so people when they can recognize me. Oh, and make it ready for the couch. You don't need police protection. Call me back if you like.
Making their point in Washington, Chicago, Dallas, and in city after city in America and around the world. Today, the day after Donald Trump became their president, they chanted. They urged.
Come on, we got this. Keep on coming. Woo!
They shouted. And they waved every insult they could muster. Pink pussycaps, mocking Trump for comments he's made about women, reinforced in as many ways they could think of. Hundreds of thousands of Americans enraged by the man voted into office by millions of other Americans.
Here in the UK, and similar events are taking place in towns and cities across the country. Demonstrations have also been held in Belfast, in Bristol, Cardiff, Edinburgh in Scotland, Leeds, Liverpool and Manchester. Looking further afield for one moment, and it was protesters in Australia and New Zealand who were among the first to take to the streets today due to the time zones. Around 3,000 marched in Sydney, Australia's biggest city. A further 5,000 took to the streets in Melbourne, and then in New Zealand there were also protests numbering in the thousands as well. South Africa too, in Cape Town there were protests there. Meanwhile in Japan, in Tokyo, it was a smaller affair, but still hundreds turned out. In Europe, thousands, tens of thousands hit the streets with protests in Amsterdam, Athens, Berlin, Frankfurt, Paris, Rome and Geneva, to name but a few. In all, hundreds of protests involving tens of thousands of people have been taking place all over the world today, which of course is the first day of Donald Trump.
Hi guys, I'm here with Alison Moore. She is another co-coordinator of the Okanagan Women's Rally. Alison, can you tell me a little bit about what sparked the idea to have an event of our own here in the Okanagan?
Well, my daughter left Los Angeles and made plans to go to Washington, D.C. So did my sister-in-law. So did all of my friends back in the United States. They're headed to Denver, Colorado. They're headed to New York City. They're all headed to Washington, D.C. if anyone can make it. And I wasn't going to be able to go. So when I met Beth, we'd never met before, I said, why don't we have a little rally ourselves and bring together like-minded people? And that night we researched and found out there was a huge Canadian Sister March movement.
As we went home that night and we said, let's see who else in Canada is going to be marching. And then I found out that Canadian women are the most organized, awesome people on earth. Because there were already 10 cities signed up. They'd already branded Canada Sisters March in Solidarity. Kelowna, Okanagan Valley was the 11th city to sign up, and there are now 30 cities and towns across this nation. There are thousands of people in Canada marching in solidarity with the people around the world. There are more than 687 counting, they're going to find out that there were millions marching around the world.
We are here and around the world for a deep democracy that says we will not be quiet, we will not be controlled, we will work for a world in which all countries are connected. God may be in the details, but the goddess is in connections.
So I woke up this morning, picked up the Washington Post, and the headline read, "Trump takes power." I don't think so. Here's the power. Here's the majority of America right here. We are the majority. Asked me on the way up the stairs here, what do you hope to accomplish with this demonstration? I said, well, I would say, if you just look that way, we've already accomplished it.
This isn't a feminist movement, it's a humanist movement.
That's right.
It's not about women, it's not just about women. It's about all rights. It's about being treated as equals, that we are equals.